So today I'm going to be doing an overview and an analysis on the new Kingdom Hearts 3 Final Battle trailer, so I get started. Here we can see possibly that Xehanort is, well, summoning Kingdom Hearts. So I think this is the Kingdom Hearts that is made from the hearts of people and not the one that's made from the hearts of worlds. So we don't really know what's gonna happen to the other one. Then that's the blue one, which is the hearts of worlds. So we don't really know what that might imply, if they're gonna use both or just one, so I don't really know that fact yet. Next, we see Kingdom Hearts appearing, and this Kingdom Hearts is slowly being, well, consumed by the darkness, which I would speculate is Xehanort's fault, but we don't really know of who did this, but I really think it's Xehanort, or it's already confirmed it's Xehanort, we don't really know. Next, we can get to see that Sora is directly looking at what's happening, but we can't really say if this is what he's looking at or what's happening to Kingdom Hearts. Next, we can see that Aqua is slowly being consumed or being, well, absorbed in by the darkness, and I speculate this is maybe after we beat Aqua in the Dark Realms in the TGS trailer, or like the TGS post, or kind of like a little bit of gameplay that they showed. Next, we see a bunch of pillars which I think are risen by Xehanort, and a bunch of organization members are standing on them. Not a bunch, just like a few of them. Next, we see Olympus being decimated by a bunch of meteors, and a building in Olympus being decimated and crumbling down, as well as that is also a statue of Hercules, which is really cool. Next, we see a bunch of explosions happening in the Monstropolis world in Monsters Inc., and they're just running from it. Sora, Donald, Goofy, along with Sully and Mike running away from explosions which are caused by the Unversed. When the Unversed start attacking the Scare Factory, I don't really remember the name of the factory where Mike and Sully worked in that movie, so I'm sorry if you get triggered by that. Next, we see Sora, Donald, Goofy along with Woody seeing Buzz being abducted or teleported away by the organization. Next, we see Rapunzel pushing away Mother Gothel inside the tower, and it cuts to a clip with Flynn, Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Maximus riding towards the castle, probably there to save Rapunzel like what they did in the movie, but this time he has Sora, Donald, Goofy at his side. Next, it cuts to a clip in the 100 Acre Woods, which introduces us to Tigger, which is a really cool introduction by Tigger, and I really don't think of any other way to introduce Tigger but in this way in Kingdom Hearts 3. Next, we see Scrooge in Twilight Town with Remy on top of Sora's head. So I really hope they get the voice actor of the Scrooge from DuckTales because he was really good. Next, it cuts a clip with Sora and Remy high-fiving with. Next, we get to see a clip in the Frozen world with Elsa probably singing Let It Go, and Kingdom Hearts 3 rendition of the song and the actions of Elsa, which is really cool. And Sora is witnessing the whole thing, and I really hope as the player we also get witness Elsa building the ice castle in Frozen, which is really exciting to think about. Next, we get to see Kristoff running towards Anna, who is currently freezing, and some parts of her body are currently being frozen over because of her heart being, well, frozen by Elsa in the movie. Next, in the Pirates world, we get a very cool fight scene between Captain Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones, which is cool. And I'm really happy that this world's coming back just because of how it looks. And I think it's the most realistic Kingdom Hearts world we ever got to see inside Kingdom Hearts so far, which is very, very cool. Next, we see a clip in the Big Hero 6 world with Sora slamming down on the Dark Baymax, with Baymax helping him back on his back, and they're both fighting him, and I really do hope we get to see this entire fight play out in the game, just because I really want to see both Baymax go at it. Next, we actually get a clip of the Stitch link that we actually got screenshots of before, and this time it's in full animation, even with the ending sequence of the link, and I think this is one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts 3 links so far, just because of how visually appealing it is. And I know there might be some gripes by some people, but I think this is really cool. Next, we can actually get a clip of Riku fighting in the Dark Realms, which is very exciting, and the first confirmation of our second playable character. So, Riku in this gameplay clip is shown to be fighting against the Devil's Stream, and he's using his Braveheart Keyblade, and he's actually using a new situation command called Dark Firaga, which is really cool. Next, we can actually get to see a new Keyblade transformation, and it's actually for the Ratatouille Keyblade, which is really cool, and it actually transforms into a frying pan, and it's kind of like how the Hercules Keyblade is, but it actually turns into a shield for its second form. It's really cool, and even like the finishing attack in this one is a little frying pan straight to the noggin of the Heartless, which is so cool. Next, we can actually get to see a brand new minigame clip or gameplay inside of the Toy Story, Big Hero 6, and Pirates of the Caribbean. And they're with these kind of pudding looking heartless, which is very odd. And it actually has a scoreboard and, well, a timer. With one of the mini games having Sora spin around on top of like a stack of those heartlesses, one in the Pirates of the Caribbean where he's actually shooting at them with his cannon. And in the Big Hero 6 world, it's shown that Sora's being launched off of one of these heartless. Next, we can actually get to see a brand new kind of mini game clip of the Tangled dancing mini game because we only seen kind of small clips of it, not actual gameplay of like the dance. As well as that, he's also shown to be doing kind of a dance move kind of style on a barrel, and I think this was used by Ven in Birth by Sleep. I'm not really sure of the name, but I think it was Ven in Birth by Sleep. Next, we can actually get to see Sora fighting against this horse-looking heartless in the Tangled world, and he actually has a situation command which we never saw before. It's called Rage Form, which is really cool. Next, we can actually get to see a gameplay clip inside of the Pirates of the Caribbean against underwater heartless boss fight, which is very exciting because I think this is the first ever kind of underwater boss fight inside of KH3, which is really cool. Next, we can actually get to see Sora piloting a Gigas robot inside of the Monster Inc. world, which is really cool, and he's fighting against other robots as well. And it looks like he has a score and a time in this one as well, and a combo, which is very exciting that you get to use these Gigas robots outside of the Toy Story world, which is really cool. Next, we can actually get to see a bunch of boss fights, at least 3 of them, being in Monsters Inc., Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Tangled world, which is cool. And the Pirates of the Caribbean, you're actually fighting Davy Jones as Sora, which is really cool. And in the Monsters Inc. one, I don't really know what you're fighting, but I think it's an unversed. And in the Tangled world, it looks like you're fighting a very big Heartless, and it's actually stuck to the tower after Sora actually hits it off. I really like how big these gameplay scenarios is in Cage 3. Next, we can actually get to see a Kingdom Hearts 3 version of the 1000 Heartless boss fight, and it's really cool, and even has a gauge, an enemy gauge that you have to fill up to finish the gameplay scenario. That's what it looks like. And he's also using the magic staff, Healing Transformation, and a situation command called Trinity Guard, which is really cool. And this leads to a scene with Kairi and Lee inside their training world, and then Kairi saying to Lee that, "So tomorrow, you and me in the ring, you ready? Don't hold back, Lee." And this kind of leads to a scene with the light obscuring Kairi's face when Lee looks to her, and it kind of shows Xion instead of Kairi, which is kind of prominent because of the black hair and the organization cloak, which is kind of cool. Next, we can actually get to see Sora and young Xehanort inside the Toy Story world, and when Sora's about to hit young Xehanort, yeah, he misses when young Xehanort's about to teleport. But before he actually gets away, young Xehanort tells Sora that, "Fine, the hearts are joined to yours," which shocks Sora. And the way that young Xehanort says it is in a rushed manner as well. Next, we can actually get to see Sayax and another organization member talking, and Sayax actually says that, "I would hate to think we invited you back into our ranks, only for you to fail to deliver our final vessel." So what I think this guy is the one who's trying to get the last vessel for Xehanort, the 13th vessel, because he actually failed to get the 13th vessel because, well, he failed Xehanort, because when he was about to North Sora, he missed and actually accidentally, well, his shot gets blocked by Axel. And we don't really get to see his face, but he's actually starting to take off his cloak, or kind of the hood part, but he doesn't, but the clip cuts at the part when he's about to reveal his face. Next, we can actually get to see a clip with Vanitas and Sora in the Monsters Inc. world, with Vanitas kind of throwing away or hitting away Sora's Keyblade, and he actually says that, "Join your heart with mine," in a very kind of stressful way. And when he does it, it actually shows kind of like a lighting version of Ven, or like Ven comes out of Sora, and it's kind of like an illusion. When he actually says mine, he's actually charging for a stab at Sora to unlock his heart to get Ventus, but he kind of radiates this kind of darkness, and the clip cuts there. Next, we can actually get to see a clip with Maleficent and Pete inside of Twilight Town, and Pete actually says that just where are we supposed to be looking, and I think he's referring to the black box, and Maleficent kind of says that a Keyblade War is upon us, and I think that kind of implies the stakes for them finding this box. Next, we can actually get to see a scene with Charity and Sora, and Charity kind of says that, "Haven't really learned how to restore someone's heart after it's been lost," and this kind of shows to Sora's face as well after looking at Charity, which is kind of cool. And I kind of like how we get more scenes with Charity in the Sky World, because we only get to see this once in the last trailer, the Winnie the Pooh trailer. Next, we can actually get to see a scene with both Sayax and Lee in Twilight Town, and they both have sea salt ice cream, and they're looking into like a sunset. And Sykes kind of says that in time I will awaken to a new purpose, and I think his new purpose was to become a true organization member, which is the one that Xehanort made with his 12 selves. Next, we get a scene inside of Yensid's tower with Mickey kind of telling Sora that Kairi is right, we're all in this together. Next, we actually get to see a scene with both Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, and Ansem the Wise talking outside of the mansion in Twilight Town, with Ansem kind of saying that, please, I have created enough victims. And with Ansem, Seeker of Darkness kind of saying that all of the children sacrificed in the name of your research, which kind of implies that how much has he sacrificed, or how many people has he had to sacrifice for his research. Next, we actually get to see a scene with both Riku Replica and Riku from Kingdom Hearts 3 fighting in the Keyblade Graveyard, with Riku holding his Brave Heart and Riku Replica with Away to the Dawn, I think that's the name. I really don't remember the name of this weapon. And Ansem, Seeker of Darkness is also looking at this battle, which is kind of cool. And I'm really hoping we actually get to fight Riku Replica with Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku, because Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku is playable in this game from what I said before, and from this trailer, which is really cool. Next, we can Such Power Foolishly, with Sora saying, so what, and Young Zern kind of says that there's no saving you. And this kind of leads to a clip in the Keyblade Graveyard with Sora, Riku, and Kairi fighting off against the Heartless, which is really cool. We also get to see that Riku Replica also summons a very big Heartless, like, I think the name's a Dark Side Heartless. I do believe it's called the Dark Side Heartless. I don't remember the name of the Heartlesses that much, so sorry if I get that wrong. Goofy with Kairi, and at the back is actually Lee. And I actually kind of thought this was weird because I only saw the flames and not really Lee. So I kind of thought that was odd, and I really hope we get to play as Sora, Riku, and Kairi in this game, and even other Keyblade holders, because this is really going to be a cool game to fight as multiple characters, kind of like in Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, I think, as well as Chain of Memories. Next, we actually get to see a scene with Axel, Xemnas, and I think this is Xion because of the Keyblade, and with Axel kind of saying that, who are you? And this kind of leads to a very kind of powerful scene with Axel getting decimated by Xemnas' kind of beams from Kingdom Hearts 2 when he fought Sora and Riku. As well as that, we can also get to see that Sax is looking at this moment, and he's kind of glowing, emanating this kind of blue aura, and his eyes are yellow, which is very, very cool and ominous-ing. Next, we can actually get to see a scene with Sora and Ven this time inside of the Keyblade Graveyard, and they're both being held up by chains, and we do know this is Ventus because of his clothes, and this can't be Roxas because Roxas is actually wearing his Kingdom Hearts 2 attire. No, not his Kingdom Hearts 2 attire, I think it's his organization cloak, because in this scene as well, I think we also get to see Roxas from the previous trailer, the TGS trailer, and which is really cool, and they're being held up by these kind of dark chains, which is very ominous, and I really want to see what this actually plays in the game. Next, we can actually get to see Mickey being sucked into kind of an object, and he's fighting Luxord in this scene as well because of the cards. So this next scene is very powerful and kind of sad as well, is that inside the Keyblade Graveyard, a kind of a beam hits the Keyblade builders when they're there, and it kind of shows Donald glowing afterwards, and all of them just separated, and Sora and Kairi are together, and all of them are there, the ones that are present, and I don't really see Lee, but Donald is the main highlight in this, and that after this he actually falls down and lets go of his wand, just falls straight to the ground. After that, the Devil Stream actually comes back, and it actually takes Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and Kairi and Lee, and Kairi in this scene as well tries to protect Axel. And after that, we actually get to see that Mickey and Goofy are still tending to their friend who has fallen, and they also get taken as well. And Kairi tries to reach out to Sora but gets pulled into the Devil Stream kind of vortex, and she actually gets pulled in by the Heartlesses that are in the Devil Stream, which is pretty sad. And at this ending scene is kind of powerful, and that Riku's protecting Sora from the Devil Stream, and it kind of splits around Riku. While he's protecting Sora, he actually tells him that, Sora, you don't believe that, I know you don't. And this kind of cuts to a scene with Sora screaming out of his mind, which is very, very powerful of an ending scene in this trailer. And we also get a brand new kind of world reveal at the end of this, and it's called Scala ad Caelum, and it's with Xehanort. He actually tells Sora that this was once a seat of power for all Keyblade wielders. He actually tells Sora at the ending that here I and my other selves can be one in Scala ad Caelum, which is the name of this world, which is really cool, and kind of cuts to this scene with Sora, with him readying for battle, which is kind of cool. So I think that's all I need to talk about in this trailer, so thank you guys for watching.